What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. I did have a conversation in the goddamn podcast this last Tuesday that we went over like another 30, 40 minutes or so, where we had this big powwow political discussion, which I love. I like having those conversations, even though everybody there disagrees with me almost. It is really good to spill my guts, get that off my, kind of like my chest, my thinking on some of these issues. So we covered all kinds of things. One of them that we got into was, briefly, we got into the demand side versus supply side economic concept. And I kind of wanted to make a video here just kind of detailing what those positions are and why I take the side that I take. So the demand side argument, if I can give you a still man of the demand side argument, it would be that with only so much money in the economy, extremely wealthy people hoard this money because there's no way some of these people can't spend all the money they have within 20 lifetimes, let alone the one lifetime that they have. This money sits and stagnates, whereas if this money were given to the poor or the less fortunate, obviously when they have money, they don't have enough money to just sit on. They immediately push this money right back into the economy. And therefore, this is what helps the economy. Businesses who would otherwise not get money will now get money because those people who would have otherwise not had money now have money to spend on products and services. And this is what actually helps the economy, not the extremely wealthy having more money than they can spend in a dozen lifetimes or whatever. So that would be, I guess, the still man version of demand side economics. And what normally comes with that is this idea of that's why we need maybe even something like universal basic income, but that's at least why we need a heavy progressive tax system in the country. That's why the people at the top need to be paying significantly more. And also what kind of goes in this is the idea of the opposition to that being supporters of what is called trickle-down economics. Now, trickle-down economics, as I said on the podcast, is a straw man. Trickle-down economics is a bastardization of supply-side economics. Because there's no actual economic theorist that uses the idea of trickle-down economics, at least how it's expressed by its opponents on the left. So a left-leaning person would typically say trickle-down economics is the idea that all the money should be going to the wealthy, or at least huge sums of the money should be going to the extremely wealthy, and that's okay because eventually they will shower that money down on us. Some variant of that. I've heard all sorts of different variations of that sentiment, but that's essentially what they think of as trickle-down economics. And here's why it's a straw man. I don't know of any economist who has ever proposed that. Now, what supply-side economics is saying, I guess I could start with the moral argument, being that if someone has justly acquired property, it is immoral to seize that property from them. I think that's a basic thing most of us could agree with. Now, I guess that would go into what is justly acquired property. I would say if you run a business and your employees agree to the wage that they get, the amount of money comes in, especially with a lot of these businesses, the reason the CEOs have so much money is because the wealth is tied up into stocks. Obviously, that's a slightly different thing than you just get a check every month for like $8 billion or something. But either way, the way that that's varied out or divvied out through a company or an organization or whatever, I think still would fall under the justly acquired money. So where we make the distinction there, aside from the moral, is just how it actually works. So when these people who are wealthy, not only is it not moral to seize their money any more than it is to seize a poor person's money or property or whatever, but what these people typically do with their money is they don't hoard it. Rich people don't hoard their money because you don't make money hoarding money. So these people, and we constantly hear this about how they want more money, and it's very true that they do. So what they do in these situations is they do one of two things. They'll either throw it into a bank, to where the bank will lend it out to new businesses that are starting up, which in turn employs new people. You get a whole new consumer base, earning a living, making money, and also creating new products and services. Or the other thing that you'll get is business owners taking that money and directly investing it into new products and services and business, which again employ people. These people now produce something for the society and in doing so earn money that then they go and put out. This is why I'm a fan of the supply side economic theory, not just because it works better in the long term, but also because it is the best system to work hand in hand with individual liberty. See, no one in the supply side argument that I've laid out, no one is having their property or their wealth forcefully seized by the government, or anyone else for that matter. Everything operates on a voluntary basis. Everything operates on a liberty basis, to where you have what you get, what you agree to whenever you're going into work. There's all the competition that goes on in the market. Businesses compete with each other for labor. But now, sure, the person at the top will gain wealth out of that, but so will the person in the middle and at the bottom, as long as they are partaking in that system. So everyone actually wins there. And not only do they win just in terms of wealth, but they win in terms of new products and services being created throughout the whole of society. So that's why we get the decreased prices of goods, because the increased productivity of the workforce. Over time, this is what actually helps the economy in a much better way than just forcefully seizing some people's money. A very small minority of people, by the way, seizing their money and giving it to people who haven't actually created any new products and services. Well, there we go, guys. Hope that clears some of that up, any confusion that we might have had on my position in that. And I think I might be doing some more of these. This is pretty fun. I'll make this a basic economics section. Maybe I'll do one on rent control. I've done stuff on minimum wage, but maybe we'll tackle some more of these economic conversations in the future.